Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome this morning. Thank you so much for being here. Let me go live on Instagram also. We are here for another episode of Deportation Defense Live. My name is Otis Landerholm and I'm your host. I'm also the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. I'm grateful to be here. It is the 29th of November of 2022, and it's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. All right, I spent time with my family and my parents, and ate a lot of food, and I hope that you had some time to be thankful for the things that you have. Don't take life for granted. All right, it'll be over so soon. And so anyway, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Deportation Defense Live. Happy to be with you. All right. So remember, the Deportation Defense Live, we are here to train, to teach, to empower, and to inspire immigrants who are facing deportation to make the most out of immigration laws, to make the most out of their lives, and to win their cases. All right? Are you facing removal in immigration court? Do you know someone who's facing removal in immigration court? Because if so, you know that it is not easy. It is an uphill battle. The laws are against us. And here at Deportation Defense Live, we're here to maximize your chances of winning that case. All right? Today, our theme, I want to talk about the parole programs from Ukraine and Venezuela. Okay? And I want to talk about them and give you some insights about how those programs are going. All right? These are new programs that have been started by the Department of Homeland Security. Okay? And so thanks to everyone who asked your questions. I'll do the topic pretty quickly, and then we'll get into your questions. So if you have a question, hey, please feel free to send it over. I'd love to answer it. Okay? So to start with, the basics, right? Earlier this year, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has issued a new process, first for Ukraine in March, and then was announced, and then in October for Venezuela. And they're very similar processes. They are processes to apply for parole. And both of the processes, they sound relatively simple, but, and compared to many immigration processes, they are relatively simple, but it's deceptively simple, all right? There are many pitfalls in these cases, and I want to talk about some of those today, okay? So, but first, to discuss the basics, right? The plan, the way it works is that a U.S.-based supporter, all right, quote-unquote supporter, can fill out a sponsorship request online. It's the form I-134 for beneficiaries in either Venezuela or in Ukraine that meet certain requirements. And there are slightly different requirements for beneficiaries from Venezuela versus for beneficiaries from the Ukraine. You can see all of those requirements on uscis.gov, or if you want, I've got other videos that explain and go in much further depth regarding those requirements. All right? After you request the sponsorship document for each of those beneficiaries in their country, then you'll get a notice as to whether or not your sponsorship request has been confirmed or not confirmed. Okay? And then the beneficiary, if it's confirmed, and once it's confirmed, they can use that to request a parole document. And it shows up to their email, all right? And they get a document, and it's a parole document that they can use and present it to get on a plane and present it to Customs and Border Patrol to allow them to get paroled into the United States. That's the basic overview of what this what this is. Okay? Some of you watching might be like, whoa, this is actually a thing? Yes, it's actually a thing. Yes, it is actually a functioning program. But there are many pitfalls in it, and I want to explain some of them. Okay? So, for example, just yesterday, I had a consultation with a man from Venezuela who, with his family rather, who used that parole to get on a plane and to enter the United States, but Border Patrol at the airport, this was in Atlanta, all right, revoked his parole document without explanation, okay, canceled it. They didn't rip it up, but they said, nope, you can't enter on this document. And so he had gone through the whole process. He went through it properly. He got his parole document, and then at the airport, they revoked it without explanation. All right, client doesn't understand. Was there a problem with the supporter? Was there a problem with the documentation? Was there a problem with his process? Why was it approved? USCIS approved the document. Why did they revoke it? No explanation. Okay? But this client intelligently, like, good job. All right, if you're watching this, good job to you. All right, this client intelligently said, okay, if you're revoking my parole, I want to request asylum. All right, and so he exerted his rights under U.S. law to request asylum, and Border Patrol has detained him, and they are putting him through the asylum process. All right, but why did they revoke his parole? No one knows. But, that happens, okay? And you got to understand this parole, there are pitfalls with it. It is not a guarantee to admission into the United States, all right? You gotta understand how this works, all right? Another example that our office has been dealing with, all right? Last week, we have a client from the Ukraine, all right? We filed the I-134 online. Originally, USCIS said, form confirmed, and we got a confirmation notice. We were allowed to move forward with the next step. But then after doing that, for whatever reason, some other officer got into the system or something, they changed the status on USCIS.gov, and now all of a sudden it says unconfirmed or non-confirmed for no reason, no explanation. And so now it's like, oh man, basically we have to start over. All right, redo the I-134, figure out whatever the officer was saying didn't meet their need, even though it's like one officer said it was sufficient, and now some officer says, nope, it wasn't sufficient for no reason, no explanation at all. Okay? And we don't know if it's a glitch in the profile or what the reason is. These are relatively new processes. Even the filing process through the internet might have glitches. It might be IT glitches, right? And so all of this stuff happens, right? And even the video from Uniting for Ukraine has a email to go through when there's IT problems with the case. So we've had to reach out to that and also tweak various things on the forms just to try to get this thing confirmed. Okay? So that's, these things happen. These are new processes, and when there's new processes, there's new kinks to work through. All right? And, the bottom line is, hey, a lawyer may or may not be able to eliminate all those things, but we can do our best to help you navigate the ever-changing puzzles that are thrown your way with immigration law and help you get the best shot at success. Okay? One other big point that I want to say before we get into your questions. Another big point is, if you're requesting this type of parole from Venezuela or from the Ukraine, do that first. Do it first from outside the country to get the document to then enter the United States with that parole, okay? Because it's so much better to enter the U.S. with parole. It's a 2-year parole document, gets you work authorization. You can use that parole document to potentially adjust status in the future, for example, through marriage to a U.S. citizen, or you can apply for asylum affirmatively once you're here. You know, it's so much better to enter on a valid parole document. So do that first before even presenting yourself to the border, or before even getting on a plane or in a car, or however you're going to present yourself to the border. Get the parole document first, all right? Don't come to the border first and request the parole. If you come to the border first, they'll deny your entry because they have to. And if you request asylum, they can put you through a process, but they can detain you and put you into deportation proceedings as you fight your asylum case. You don't want that, all right? It's so much better to request parole first and to fight your case after you're allowed entry into the U.S. But remember, parole is not a guarantee. The approval of the parole document by USCIS and going through that process is not a guarantee that Border Patrol will in fact admit you and allow you entry on the parole. They can revoke it, all right? And we have seen that. And so anyway, I wanted to share that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. I want to get into your questions because we have a few questions. And as I'm answering them, if you have a question, if you want to send it in, hey, it doesn't have to be about parole, but it can be. If you have a question, let's talk it through, okay? So the first question comes from Aparajita. Aparajita, hello. Thank you for asking your question. Aparajita, your question is, how can I stay in the U.S. after divorcing my husband? I am on a dependent visa. Okay, so there are some visa statuses that depend on the relationship. And when that happens, when there is a divorce, now your visa will no longer be valid. Okay? And so it's a good question, like what could you do to stay in the United States? Well, you're not going to be able to depend on that visa anymore, so you've got to find some other option. I don't know, Aparajita, but, I don't know more facts about your case, but, I know some questions to ask you, do you have any eligibility for asylum? You could file for asylum that could allow you to stay in the United States, but don't do it unless you have a case for asylum, okay? You could file for VAWA. Have you ever been abused, harmed, subject to extreme cruelty during your relationship with your husband? Of course, if your husband was on a visa, so to apply for VAWA, your husband had to have been a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, so it might not work. But it's something to look at, all right? Another option is what's called the U visa. If you have ever been the victim of any harm, abuse, crime here in the United States, and if you've reported it to the police, then you cooperated with law enforcement in the investigation or prosecution of a crime, you could apply for a U visa. If you haven't reported it, but you have suffered from something, hey, go report it. Okay? And you could potentially change your status to some other non-dependent status, F1 student visa, something like that. And if you want to talk through all those options, of course, certain parts of the world might qualify for TPS. There might be other options depending on your specific situation, okay? So if you want to talk that through, we'd love to go in more depth with you about that situation. I am sorry that you are going through a divorce process, and if we can help you minimize the immigration consequences of that divorce, we'd love to help you do that. Okay? The way to do that is give our office a call, schedule a consultation, and we can see how we can help you navigate that. The next question, and thank you, Aparajita, for asking that question, okay? The next question comes from Jose, all right? So, Jose, you ask, I have a pending deportation case, and my wife was deported 12 years ago. And my question is, can you guys work with people of low resources? I don't have sufficient money to do it, to work on it. And Jose, thank you for asking that question. Our firm is a private firm. We don't have like independent funders or funding to do cases, but we do offer payment plans and things like that. The best way to really fully understand the costs involved in a case is to first do a consultation, all right? And so the best way to do that is pick up a phone, contact our office, and see how we can help you. And if our office isn't the best fit for you, there are local nonprofits, there are nonprofit organizations that do great immigration work. Feel free to reach out to them. But I'd love for you to at least give our office a shot, okay? We do, it's not free, all right? But we provide outstanding service, all right? Outstanding service, outstanding representation. Sometimes it ends up being less expensive going for an attorney who really knows what they're doing, who can fight for your case, and who can get you the results that you need. Just saying, okay? So it looks like those are the only questions that I've gotten. So it looks like those are the only questions that I've gotten. So thanks to everyone, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Thank you all so much for being here. On Instagram, I see you there. Sonia, hello. Vinod, hello. Violetta or Violet, hello. Thank you all so much for being with me here on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. I will do this episode again in Spanish in just a few moments, so if you speak Spanish, join me there, all right? And if you do still have a question that I haven't answered, please do still send it over. I can answer those questions and upload them to our YouTube channel. To see those, go to our YouTube channel, landerholmimmigration.com, and subscribe on YouTube and hit the notifications bell, and you can see all the other videos as we update and upload them, okay? Thank you so much. And as always, if you have an immigration case, if you want help or want to see how my office can help you through your immigration case, please give us a call. We are here to help. We would love to help, okay? So thanks so much. Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream, and I'll see you on the next episode of Deportation Defense Live. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.